Your physical brain has officially classified the entire internet as a literal lobe of your own neural network. Right now, as you sit there, your grey matter is actively rewriting its biological code to stop storing facts, having realized it can outsource the entire history of human knowledge to a silicon chip in your pocket. This is not a metaphor. This is a profound, measurable reorganization of your biological memory, and you did not even have to sign a consent form to let it happen. We have transitioned from storing information inside our heads to storing the pathways to that information. Your brain is no longer a vault of knowledge. It has become an advanced indexer, a master of directories. This shift is called cognitive offloading, and it is silently changing the physical structure of your mind every single time you type a query into a search bar. How did we get here? Think about how you navigated your world today. When a question popped into your head, did you sit in quiet contemplation, trying to retrieve the answer from the deep folds of your neocortex? Or did your hand instinctively slide into your pocket to consult the glowing rectangle? How many phone numbers of your closest friends do you actually know by heart right now? Probably 2, maybe 3, and those are likely relics from your childhood. It is gone. The moment we outsourced our personal directories to our devices, our brains happily freed up that biological real estate for other tasks. But this is not just about phone numbers. It goes much, much deeper. In 2011, a groundbreaking study led by psychologist Betsy Sparrow at Columbia University exposed the raw mechanics of this digital transformation. Her team gave participants a series of trivia statements to type into a computer. Half of the participants were led to believe that the computer would save their work, while the other half were explicitly told that the information would be immediately erased. The results were stunning. The individuals who believed the computer would save the data performed significantly worse when asked to recall the facts later. But here is the real kicker, the twist that reveals the true genius and laziness of human biology. When the researchers tested the participants on where the files were saved on the computer, their recall was incredibly sharp. They did not remember the fact, they remembered the folder name. Your brain is treating the internet not as a library, but as a biological limb. This is what cognitive scientists call a transactive memory system. Traditionally, humans have always used transactive memory. If you are in a long-term relationship, you might not remember how to pay the water bill because your partner always does it, and they might not remember how to fix the leaky faucet because you do. We divide the cognitive labor of survival, but for the first time in human history, we have admitted an infinite, infallible, instantaneous partner into our collective transactive loop. That partner is Google. And because this partner never sleeps, never forgets, and knows literally everything, your brain has made the logical evolutionary decision to let it do all the heavy lifting. But there is a steep, hidden biological toll to this arrangement. In 2016, researcher Benjamin Storm published a study in the journal Memory that looked at what happens when we rely on search engines to solve simple problems. He found that using a search engine to answer an initial set of questions made participants significantly more likely to use a search engine for subsequent incredibly easy questions, even when they actually knew the answers. It is a form of learned cognitive helplessness. The physical threshold for your brain to initiate a memory search inside its own organic synapses has drastically increased. Your brain calculates the energy cost of retrieval and decides that firing up its own neural pathways is far more exhausting than simply tapping a screen. Why burn precious biological calories when the cloud can do it for you? This constant offloading is actively shrinking our working memory capacity. When you search for something online, you are exposed to a dizzying array of blue links, advertisements, and related questions. Your attention is fragmented before you even find the answer, because you did not have to work for the information, because you did not experience the struggle of retrieval. The brain does not trigger the release of chemicals like acetylcholine that flag an event as highly important and worth consolidating into long-term storage. Information in, information out. It is a transient, ghostly whisper across your consciousness, leaving no permanent footprint. We are becoming intellectually shallow, possessing a mile-wide index of topics, but only an inch-deep understanding of any of them. But let us look at the other side of this digital coin, because this scientific reality is not a tragedy, it is an extraordinary evolutionary pivot. What if this offloading is actually freeing us? By outsourcing the tedious, rote storage of facts, our brains are theoretically liberated to perform higher-order cognitive processing. We do not need to memorize the exact dates of historical battles when we can access them in half a second. Instead, we can use our cognitive energy to analyze the socio-economic patterns behind those battles, connecting disparate ideas in ways that a simple database never could. We are transitioning from being fact collectors to being pattern synthesizers. The modern human brain is being reshaped to excel at curation, critical analysis, and systemic thinking. We are no longer required to carry the heavy bricks of information. We are now the architects designing the conceptual structures. So, how do we master this new biology instead of letting it master us? How do we live in this hyper-connected world without turning our internal memory structures into mush? There are 3 highly specific, scientifically validated habits you can implement starting today. First, embrace the 30-second retrieval delay. The very next time you feel the urge to search for a trivial fact, a movie actor's name, or a historical year, do not touch your phone. Force yourself to sit with the question for exactly 30 seconds. Close your eyes and actively search your own mind. Even if you fail to retrieve the answer and eventually have to look it up, that 30 seconds of intense, active retrieval effort primes your neural pathways. It signals to your hippocampus that this information is valuable, making you significantly more likely to remember both the answer and the context next time. Second, practice the technique of digital isolation sandboxing. For 1 hour every day, engage in a high-cognition task, whether it is reading a dense book, writing, or planning a project, with absolute zero internet access. No open tabs, no quick searches, no smartphone on the desk. If you encounter a gap in your knowledge during this hour, do not stop to search for it. Write a placeholder note on a physical piece of paper and keep moving. This forces your brain to operate within the limits of its own biological working memory, rebuilding the mental stamina that constant search engine reliance has slowly eroded. Third, transition from passive searching to active reconstruction. When you do look something up, do not just read it and swipe away. Take 5 seconds to repeat the fact to yourself, translate it into your own words, or explain it to someone else. This simple act of processing converts a passive external input into an active internal output, triggering the synaptic plasticity required to build real, lasting memory pathways. You see, you are not the same biological organism you were 10 years ago. The line where your skull ends and the digital world begins has blurred. Your phone is not an external distraction. It is an integrated cognitive prosthetic. Once you realize this, you stop viewing technology as an enemy to your humanity and start viewing it as a powerful, shape-shifting partner. You have been handed the keys to an infinite external library, but your brain is still the only machine capable of turning that data into genuine wisdom. The next time you open a search tab, you will not just be looking for an answer. You will be actively deciding which parts of your mind you want to keep inside your head and which parts you are willing to let go. Take control of that choice. If you want to master the invisible forces shaping your biology, your attention, and your future, make sure you are subscribed to Digital Decoded. Next time, we are diving deep into the hidden neurological cost of how we perceive time in the age of infinite scroll. You will not want to miss it. Stay curious, stay analytical, and keep decoding your digital self.